Alright guys, welcome back to another Master and Apprentice video. We've gotten LEGO Star Wars leaks, but now we got the official review for the August wave of LEGO Star Wars 2025. They're on the LEGO site. None of these are really for pre-order. There is the one set we're not going to really talk about because we really don't care about the UCS sets that much on this channel. But that's the ATST Walker, the UCS set 75417. That one is for pre-order. So if you like any of the UCS series, I don't know if it's like an official UCS, but it's got like the black box art. It's got the 18 plus. It comes with like the placard. So I think it's UCS. It doesn't say it in the title. They usually do. This one doesn't. So take that with a grain of salt. But with that being said, we're going to get into the rest of the sets. These are all play sets. There's, I think, one of them we haven't gotten yet. That's the buildable Ewok. We're not going to really worry too much about that one. I mean, we've seen the pictures of it. I don't think there's a lot more else that needs to come from it, like the leaks. We don't really need to see more of that. It's pretty straightforward. The rest of these sets, though, we can see that we're going to be getting a lot more from the actual reviews than we did the leaks. So with all that being said, we're going to get right into it. The first set being set 75435, the Battle of Fallujah Separatist MTT. So this is our first Clone Wars MTT. We've had 3 iterations, if I'm not mistaken, before of the MTT, but they've all been like the Trade Federation. This is the Separatist Clone Wars, so it's blue. It's going to be $160 with 976 pieces. You know, we knew all of these sets, especially these big ones, they're going to be downsized compared to years past. And so that's kind of a given, right? Because LEGO can't raise their prices too high. You know, if they wanted to keep the sets the exact same, the exact size from years past, these sets would be $180, $200, right? So if they want to make them relatively the same price, they got to bring down the size a little bit, right? And they're kind of in a problem right now with that situation because who knows how long they can keep this up. But for now, this is what we're stuck with still relatively okay prices, but really small sets compared to years past, right? You got to take what you can get. The MTT itself, I think, looks fine. It's, it's kind of small. You can see the carrier part, the front where it holds the battle droids. It looks like it holds up to 6. The style is different than what we had in past. I think it looks really good the way it connects into the back stud of the droids. I think it looks real sharp. The rest of it looks pretty good, like the paneling, the stickers. The front piece, like the dome piece, is a printed piece, it looks like, so that will look really good, I think. And in the back, as you see in the set, it comes with a strap, but in the back you can actually fit the strap in there. So that's cool. There's a little bit of space on the back, so if you wanted to get more battle droids and just like shove them in there, that's a way you can do it. You can, take out the strap, put more droids in there, so that's cool. It comes with, it looks like 6 or 7 battle droids, also 3 commando droids, a pilot droid. Then it comes with Ayla Secura, so that's a cool, rendition we haven't gotten in a while. It looks a little updated from the years past. It doesn't look too different though. There's some small details. I saw some people complaining about her lips not being pink like they're supposed to. That's a small thing, but if you really care about detail, that might bother you. For me, I'm colorblind, so I can't really tell, to be honest. The rest of the printing looks good to me. And then obviously the ones most people were excited for was Commander Bly. He makes his debut in LEGO Star Wars. I think he looks pretty good. All things being said, the pauldron looks really great. But the biggest thing with these troopers, no skirt, no, I forget what the piece is called, but the bottom cape piece that goes around, the cloth piece, the skirt piece, it's not there. And I think that's really missing. It was missing on Rex, but Rex didn't have like the pauldron piece, so I think it was okay. This one I think looks really, really bad. Bly, like, that's part of his character. He's always had that, it's like getting an ARC trooper and not putting it on there, which we had with 5s. It looks really goofy, and it's not because LEGO doesn't print or produce these things. They do it for all other brands. It's just not LEGO Star Wars for some reason. And I think it's really going to bug some people because this Commander Bly is close to perfect to me. I think the printing looks really good. Pauldron looks really good. The micro binoculars on the helmet looks really good. The helmet printing looks good. It's just that cape skirt piece not there is really missing it. It almost makes the character look a little top heavy too, because that pauldron, it's a nice new plastic molded piece. It's kind of big, so without the bottom cape piece, it looks just a little top heavy.
Next up, we got set number 75414, the Force Burner Snowspeeder. This is obviously a Rebuild the Galaxy set. We don't really know much about where it comes from because this season hasn't yet to drop. It comes with 3 minifigures. We have Sig Griebling, Darth Deb, and Soltius. I don't really know very much about Soltius because I'm going to assume he's going to play a big role in the next season of Rebuild the Galaxy. But as far as Snowspeeders go, this one doesn't look bad, but it does look a little bit different if you have eyes and can see, because, well, if you know anything about Rebuild the Galaxy, they are not doing the traditional renditions of any vehicle or anything at all. As we know, last year they came out with Dark Falcon. That's nothing like anything we've ever seen before. So this one's got flames on it, and it's a Snowspeeder. They got a stab for Soltius. They got another little speeder bike. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I think $55 is a little bit expensive, but that's kind of just the day and age we are in LEGO. I mean, as far as the other price hikes that we've seen, if you're okay with those, I think you'll be fine with this. It's nothing insane, but it is what we've been seeing. But the Snowspeeder itself is very detailed. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell how big exactly it is because that cockpit actually looks a lot more roomy than I thought it would be.
Yeah, a lot of people have been calling it the Hot Rod Snowspeeder because it just kind of has like that hot rod vibe with the yellow and the red and the flames. And it comes with a little speeder that's pretty similar to it too. So yeah, Hot Rod Speeder is what people have been calling it. Next up, we have set 75413, the Republic Juggernaut. Yeah, this is not really what people expected. If you look at it, I don't know why they call it a Juggernaut. This is a traditional turbo tank, except, you know, much smaller, $160. So it's gonna again be, you know, in that same price that we expected it to be, but smaller than years past, because that's just the world we live in with Lego Star Wars, and it's unfortunate. I personally think this looks okay. The interior is a big part of it. The interiors from the past turbo tanks have been like pretty big, bigger than like the ATTEs have ever really been. And this is a little bit of a downside. You can see from some of the pictures, it does have the capability to sit all the characters you get in this set, but to like stand them all up, you've really got to put them in certain spots. Like in the back area where they're all sitting, there's like a little divot in the middle. That's the only place you can stand them up. Otherwise, they're too tall for it, right? So things like that, it's like, it's a little unfortunate. I think it still works. Obviously the new thing with this one is the tire design is brick built. Years past, it's been like rubber pieces or like just like one giant piece. This is, you know, multiple Lego pieces put together. Very different than what we've had in the years past. It's a little bit shorter, you know, a little bit smaller in length. I'm pretty interested to see how this compares, because just by the eye count, it only looks to be like a couple of studs short, both in height and length, which shouldn't be too much shorter, but just by the eye test, it looks like it could be relatively big shorter. I don't know how to put it. The minifigures are a huge part of this. Obviously, beginning of the year, we had heard rumors of a UT-AT, right, from Revenge of the Sith, and while we got the minifigures confirmed from that scene with the Galactic Marines, Commander Bakara, Ki-Adi-Mundi, which is from that scene of Revenge of the Sith, Order 66, and the UT-AT was in that scene, we don't get the UT-AT, which I think a lot of fans were upset by. But at the very least, we do get an updated turbo tank, much smaller, but updated. And we do get the Galactic Marines, Commander Bakara, and a new Ki-Adi-Mundi. Again, I think these are almost perfect. I almost think these are better than what most people would expect, because a lot of people don't like the clones nowadays because of the helmet holes and the printing. These are perfect printing. They don't have the helmet holes. It's a brand new mold for all of the helmets, including Commander Bakara, except they don't have the waist piece. They don't have the skirt piece, and all of them should have it. They have it printed on there, so you know it's not like they forgot the detail. They just didn't want to give it to them. And again, these are like so close to perfect, just like Commander Bly. It's just like they're missing that one thing. You know, I've never been a huge, you know, enemy of like the helmet holes, because I think an extra play option and play feature, that's what these sets are for. They're for kids, you know what I mean? These don't have that. They're almost perfect. It's just that cape piece. A kid would want to put that on there. That should be available for a kid. That should be available for a collector like one of us. So I think that's a big problem with this. Otherwise, they're all pretty much perfect. The Chaotic Monday isn't really different than the one we've seen from 2017. I think the last one was. I can't remember when the last one was, but it's been a while. I think that's the last one. It's not much different than that. We get 3 B1 battle droids, and then otherwise that's pretty much it for this set. It looks good. Again, it's just almost perfect. They just miss a step here or there. And, we'll see how small the turbo tank actually is, but it's, from an eye test, it's kind of hard to tell.
Next up, we got set number 75433, Jango Fett Starship, and better known as the Slave One. Yeah, Lego changed the name. Who cares? Coming in at $70. One of the highlights, before I even get into the main build of this is the second Kaminoan we're getting ever. This is Lama Su. We got Nala Se in a set, I believe it was last year or the year before, Obi-Wan's
3 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's been way longer than you'd expect.
Obi-Wan's Starship had Nala Se. This is Lama Su. They did not reuse the same mold. She has a unique head, which is awesome detailing in my opinion.
I think we were all afraid when we heard there's a Kaminoan that they were just gonna reprint, you know what I mean? Because Lego does that. They get cheap, and so it's really cool. Not only did they give us a new Kaminoan, they gave us a new mold and print, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean the minifigures in this set is a very well detailed Boba Fett, young Boba Fett obviously, and then we get Jango Fett, as you can see from Attack of the Clones. Nothing too crazy here, and then we get the ship. And I don't want to say it's brick for brick, but it's pretty darn close to brick for brick of when we got the Slave One 3 years ago, just a recolor of it quite obviously. And then they also got a very, not unique because they did it before, but a very awesome design choice, I'll say. The cargo little loading lift thing that they have in Star Wars, that doubles as a stand for the ship itself. So, I mean, that is just awesome that you can have that as either a play feature if you want to play with it, or if you're a collector and you want to display it on a wall next to the other one, you can do that with the little stand it comes with. I mean, I'm really not going to get too deep into this because I'm going to expect it to be the exact iteration of the last one we saw, just recolored, honestly.
Yeah. And honestly, the other one I think was $55, something like that, $50, $15 increase. It has an extra minifigure. The other one only had 2. It supposedly has 100 more pieces. It seems pretty fair. This is one of the sets that doesn't seem too ridiculous, right? You also have to remember a lot of these sets seem pretty ridiculously overpriced. Not but 3 or 6 months later, you're going to see it on sale, 10% decrease, 15%, sometimes even 20, right? Especially stuff like this. It's going to be fine. You're going to be able to get it probably close to $55, to be honest. The other thing is, I don't know if this is a play in the eye, but a lot of other people have pointed this out. In some of the pictures, it looks like Boba Fett is behind Jango in the cockpit, which for the Boba Fett Slave One, that wasn't possible. You can only put one minifigure in there. So maybe that's where the other 100 pieces are. They maybe expanded the cockpit area and just pushed it out so you could get 2 in there, which would be really awesome. In my opinion, that's worth a $15 increase. Not just because, it has more pieces per se, but it has more play capabilities, and that's cool. So I think this is really fun. Like Ethan said, it's going to be pretty similar to the last one, but cool. Then we have set 75432, the V-19 Torrent. This one's also been a while. This one's been 15 years since I think we've seen the last one, back in the golden age of Clone Wars sets. This one is probably one of the more perfect ones. It's only $65. It looks really good when the wings are extended. I'll say that. When the wings are extended down, it looks really sharp. It looks, what you'd expect. For whatever reason, when you have the wings folded up, they look so much shorter than they actually are. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because of the play functionality of how the wings fold up. It looks just kind of chubby for whatever reason. I think it looks fine for $65. The wings look really sharp. The rest of it looks really good. It's unfortunate that it's a little bit smaller than the last one, but I think it looks sharper on the detailing. The minifigures are all stand out on this one. We have a new Asajj Ventress. Her clothes are a lot more purple than the last ones we've seen. The other ones were a dark purple. This is a bright purple, at least from the pictures we have. A new headpiece. Looks really, really good. It's been a while since we've had Asajj. She's been in a lot of TV shows, like The Bad Batch. She just had Tales of the Underworld. I'm sure she'll pop up in some other stuff coming forward. So it's really cool to get into a self interest. Then we have a Clone Wars Kenobi. He looks absolutely amazing. The arm printing, the leg printing like on the toes looks super good. It's nice to get another good Clone Wars Kenobi. All these Clone Wars editions that they've been doing, they had Mace Windu come out a couple years ago, and like the Clone Wars armor on looks super, super good. The Kenobi is very similar to that, where I think it just looks really, really sharp. And then we finally get a clone pilot without the fin and the proper printing. It looks really, really sharp. This is what we should have gotten in the UCS gunship all those years ago. Unfortunately, this one doesn't double as a captain, whereas the one in the UCS, the captain doubled as a pilot. Interesting how that works. Anyways, it's really good. I think it looks good. All around, I think this is another really great set for the summer. There's really not a lot wrong with it. I mean, again, you got to take the bad with the good. If you want a nice price tag, you're going to have to take a little bit of a smaller set. I mean, the price per piece is really not that far off. So they're not stealing your money. This is just the world we live in with Lego Star Wars.
And the last one we have for this August wave is set number 75431, the 327th Star Corps Clone Troopers Battle Pack. We got a set very similar to this. I want to say beginning of 2023.
I think it was last year, yeah.
Last year or 2020, probably last year. And I mean, we've been talking about price hikes this whole video, and this is a pretty big one. I think they included a bit more pieces in this one. 258 honestly feels like the same quantity, but we get 3 B2 battle droids in this. We get 4 327th clones, obviously, a spider droid, and an AT-RT. So that AT-RT does look pretty bulky, I will say, but the price increase on this is 50%. Last one came out was $30. This one's $45. That's a 50% increase. It's buying a set and a half. And not only was that price hike 50%, we also just straight up lost 2 B1 battle droids. They had 3 B2s in the last one. They have 3 B2s in this one. We had 4 clones in that one. We have 4 clones in this one. But we had 2 B1s in that one and none in this one. I mean, this is just price hike here. This is really where I'm seeing it. I know when that last one came out, I was thinking that's a really good value. But I mean, just seeing the two a year from each other, or I guess a year and a half from each other, it's just black and white, the price difference. And personally for me, I know we went over the skirts already, but with this price hike, and Lego always kind of, their brand has been this quality over quantity. I think if they're going to be doing these price hikes, and they publicly announced that they're doing price hikes over time, especially with Star Wars, we need the skirts. That is quality. It's quality is the skirts. If you're going to price hike us $5 for a set from one year to another, but you include something extra, that can kind of be a mental nod off and, okay, they gave me something. Is it a flimsy piece of fabric? Maybe, but it's something, an extra detail, and it's nice.
It's funny that they'll go the extra mile and print out and mold a whole new pauldron piece, but they won't just give us like skirt pieces, which I imagine are probably cheaper because they're not plastic. It's not a new mold. It's just a cutout that you have in other brands and other genres of Star Wars. You know, it's just bizarre to me. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. If you're gonna hike it 50%, give us less in quality or quantity, you got to make the quality better. And I think the builds in this set are probably some of the best battle pack builds we have. I like the spider droid. It's an updated build. We have pretty much had the same spider droid forever. This is like one of the biggest changes we've seen with the headpiece. I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. And the AT-RT is actually a bit more lore accurate because it's supposed to be a little bit shorter. The ones we've had in the past are way too tall and big. If you remember in the Clone Wars, they're like a trooper and one above. Like, they're not like 5, right? This is a little bit more accurate. But then they go ahead and increase it 50% and take out minifigures, and then they don't give us something like the cloth pieces. Like, why would you give us 4 pauldron pieces for all of them, but not include 1 cloth piece? You know, like, why not just not include the pauldron pieces? You know what I mean? Like, it's bizarre, the choices that Lego makes for quality, because it just seems like it's like an ego thing. Like, they don't want to give the fans what they really, really want. They want to give them what they want, but if it's something that, you know, the diehard fans want, I don't know. They just don't want to give it for whatever reason. This is a Lego Star Wars summer that I think is marred by near perfect sets. You know, like, don't even mind the prices, right? If all these troopers had skirt pieces and, like, let's say 2 extra battle droids, I would not be complaining as much about the price. I wouldn't. let's say that turbo tank or whatever, the one with Ki-Adi-Mundi and Commander Bakara, let's say they all had those skirt pieces, that set would be worth $160 quickly. But like, they're all missing these glaring things, almost all of them, really. They're so close to being perfect, but that price almost just seems like, okay, if you're gonna have this price this high, you've got to give us perfect then. And they're not. You know, I've been one to be pretty graceful, you know, like in general with Lego Star Wars, because I'm always kid first over collector first. That's just my mentality. It is a kid brand. It's a toy brand, right? So if the collectors beat and what they want because they're giving more options to play functions to kids, I understand that. I've always been graceful about that. But if you're going to increase these prices so ridiculously much, they're not for kids anymore. They're for collectors. Then you got to make them perfect for collectors, because this is just getting out of hand. I don't know. A lot of these sets, I think 5-10 years ago, we all would have been so hyped to get, just to hear the rumors about. And we're getting them. And there's just like these issues that just seem to ruin it. So I don't know. We'll see. Some of these sets may not be as bad as we think they are. You know, for me personally, I'm a perfectionist, a completionist. I don't want to buy extra accessories for my Lego Star Wars sets. When I buy it, I want it just the way I got it in the box. But like, not having these skirt pieces for all these clones is really starting to bug me, because these clones need to have them. Like, that's part of their character. You know, someone like Commander Bly, Commander Bakara, they're supposed to have them, and that they're not. You know what I mean? Same thing with Captain Rex from last year. So it's always at the point where like, I'm just going to start maybe buying these extra accessories. I know a lot of fans already do, but Lego's making it so ridiculous for like, they're adding extra stuff, but not the stuff that fans have been asking for the last 5 years. I don't know. We'll see. It's an interesting summer for Lego Star Wars fans. The prices are crazy. The quality is crazy. The quantity is crazy. It's a little bit rough being a Lego Star Wars fan, I think, right now. We'll see. I think it's going to be getting better, in my opinion, because, you know, however way you look at it, we're going to be moving from Clone Wars stuff, getting into the Mandalorian stuff, with the Mandalorian movie coming out next year. That's going to take a lot of sets. You wait. You guys forget, when we had Star Wars movies coming out, we pretty much only got stuff for the movies, right? And the first, you know, the Mandalorian, when that first show came out, that year we pretty much only got Mandalorian stuff. And then they started putting out more stuff, and Lego was like, all right, we'll do other stuff. And we haven't returned to that. Next year, you watch, we're going to pretty much only get Lego Mandalorian stuff, which I think will help, right? Because it was like a break from these clones. So what of all that, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys are excited, what you guys are most disappointed about. And let us know if you guys agree or disagree with any of the points we made. And yeah, with all of that, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.